So like the Cleveland incident in fight and like Jonah might with Raymond like might have been a case like might have been that sword in the good that like Jonah might have and really more like might have been attacked with the case that you mentioned. So like Jonah might have been able to hold the puppy with like with the love fight between might have been a case that you mentioned. So like Jonah might have like uh opened up a letter and made a copy of that letter might have been one kind of and like Jonah might have placed that one of the letter on the book within that bridge. And Black Jonah secretly placed within that bridge, and basically Jonah might have gave like a copy of that letter to Black Armor because love might have been one might have just there, and like that letter might contain like special information and so on like that would be behind Black Robert ending up in the mixing to that which might have been maybe an activity might have been due to that game is like extreme real to which like the screen might have been that by sleeping away funny activities like being made of being like that to the case of new trends and well as like that a couple of like Jonah might have before his stuff might have even also figured out about like the figure of the like clean and clean so it might have been like that to the case that we want to which in the clear with like Jonah might have been a little up on that basically one the lot happened like the lead forward in forward might have the demand that and last week like spending kind of thing so like at that point like that they want like allow the reason to that the thing of landing at that point that definitely Donald might have had like that after offers that like set out the actually ending up something like the best and eventually ending up moving it towards like might have been along the lines that Donald might have had that actually confident of like but they at that point for like John Aaron to be might have had that absolute suction for like the safety and action of like as well as like like the future. So up like John Adams trying to certainly if you want for like protection like not for adapt and not for adapt to be a still and protect like Robert like John Adams before he lost my out met the like the armor and my out told the about like John Adams like that like John Adams have much time that like John Adams might not also have that basically we have one left with and like it is for like the amount to pay it and with like absolute want to take so for adults might have been a reference like Leonardo might have so like before Leonardo long like visiting like the market like might have been to then check like the progress of like the progress of creation of that app on the feed so by the for example might have been like that will be of like the page that they might have been right. So like that we are going to remember and preparing on like adapt will be meeting like the like at that point I'm looking for like adapt to personally finding I'm not going to be at that point that my development so you find out from like the social information about like disease between like between and training and also that at that point like me being able to like realize what might have actually happened to brand as well as like adapt also totally finding out about like the social information about like the what might be like actual like memory behind like robots like so, as well as like the adapt even also the feeling that as well as the same on like it's like it is now that I'm just going to bring everything again. Things that we might have most likely might have slow poison don't have to substitute or like the cause of that many months might have been what might have happened. Right. It is like the movement of the tutorial instruction right now that adapt maybe might tell lies the next note about next note being adapt right. And it actually while adapt first might have been in love with like actual mother like so might have what they been born and might have been a bit might have been the young to the thing with the police might have been interested to definitely so mother might have been extremely beautiful and that like and that then like that might have not had like the percent freedom that Ezra has of the like over might have that feeling over might have been like that activity that it is the condition to lead and the person like then like Ezra might have kept like Ezra's like a relationship with like the so mother position from over as well as that and that might have always ensure to that during that time period like that might have ensure to that we so mother hit us from Robert like we do like that during that like so mother like Robert so like so mother then Robert might want and basically at that point that suddenly will be nothing. That will be able to do something about it. To that Robert thing that the thing might have been along the lines and those thing for that and I'm probably fine. In time period like that Robert might have already made it as like the things might have been like the case the things frames so and that might have had that after the year and that might have so that time period like and that might have freedom like no number Robert might have been what might have happened. But like eventually there might have been a situation where like one day that either Robert might have sent and that's it like some quick mission and that's have to let go from that mission and that's like one book that I'm putting from like might have had like some sort of like a stable reason to that shut out from that area and that's my doubt. So Snow mother she like stated from Black Robert and that was the back so might be around the time that my doubt. So Snow's mother might have been more kind of but like that might have went away like at that point about the thing that Snow's mother might have gotten scared of it and basically or like Snow might have the baby Snow might have well and basically might have been on Thailand basically at that point like Snow's mother might have ended up in like the situation where like she might have been forced to like step out to that sequel like and at that point like I could think that that way that King Robert might have ended up seeing like the beautiful so might have been one minute and something something like that they have to bring Robert might have had some and basically setting up but like quite benefits that Robert might have demanded that like for us to be with like Robert might have been the same like might have been when that time might have been not being in love with like the so like so like I said, might have given those we might have had just have the fear of fail so might have like he said no to that thing forward so that for like what you think like thinking like I'm going to spend like Robert might have on invasion and like that might have been how maybe like the law of that scene might have happened. Which at least like a million so by the time like that might have done some like tricks from that mission like that might have yeah might have might have been absolutely shocked with that after realizing that the shocking dog that it doesn't that faction might have been it's not a black. So at that point, like that might have been handling the might have been like against the human friends. So that way like I'm differing luck. So like at that point after that might have been might have felt extremely enraged towards like Robert, but like that might have that that here the was like absolutely nothing you could do. So that as well as like there might have put that like a great one of the city. Even though it might have had that freedom that might have been in the since there might have put that most of one and they put that over. So like productivity adapt might or not be able to like anything and also to do or like react against like or what might have been one of the factors that lead on to that. So like that might have been surrounding that after skill for like with like the feeling that usually like that it was solely out of like some other like now towards like the and like such like the things and there are things like with like some law so like that might have been significantly like the law of like number and that way like that might have to like make up process like screen skill we might have been in like by something you know might have been what might have happened the brain might have been so for the for example the maybe back then like more than anything it might have been adapt like a close fear of like the consequence of like reacting against like Robert back then might put a thing like Robert like profit trouble to like adapt like actual family unlike when the film might be you know the line and those things adapt might have fear that like adapt might have you know might have like absolutely frustrated the thing like adapt might have the inside and not said anything at all to that Robert might have been Robert might have been what made have happened to me as a curator is so like the reason right now for like right now it's a of different from like staying intellectual that we find out about like Edda finding that the law of like Jonah distribution that Islam that I'm looking at. So that never defines of like Jenny that possibly taking that Edda like you know to that forward from like Edda can like not that I'm looking at on that note like Edda might down turn out like Edda like sufficient comes into like the law of Jonah might be like it takes the living limit. So like from this point on, this when I'm going to think for like so like that with Jamie going through the context of that movie, like basically from that point on when I'm going to think on like Jamie to like script to create target adapt. It's like before like adults could get like confusion coming to like the long of Donald to like Robert like to be along the line to different like Jamie and through Jamie like the Queen as well planet to like steadily bring down and up it's like the not Jeremy role opinion the race so like the key part of the question right now is that like Tom might be well experienced so like I'm figuring out any delay or like Tom quickly figuring out that like snow might be everyone going easy on then something that's a train to check. It's not exact I'm going to compare them, right? But given point at that point, for like Stone was like a stone and she will be like uh, telling Snow that if that they all go easy on Sam and like there won't be group of like Sam and like the warrior that will be that Sam needs to feel that will need Sam needs to like feel a lot of the hardship and equity and has to go through that injury that comes in and found like comprehension to be along the lines like Sam would always stay the same and be competent to be along the lines and and then found with like serious fail that competent telling so that's right now it's like it's not that amazing. So like at that point I'm very different like looking now at basically at that point, I'm going to find like on once again telling them to that cutting them friend session with like Sam, and at that point, I'm going for like them all in an experience with team on and feel the recommend manner like them all actually giving it their actual spike and power in the face again and still in the face against like Sam when now that about and that way I can go to for them to was a lot of the kind of protecting also work like while Spawn would be saying the to like Snow like I'm protecting like Sam as well probably agreeing with like agreeing with like songs like now like Sam telling to Sam at that point telling Snow that basically he doesn't want like I don't feel like go easy on Sam that Sam now that Sam has like danger that Sam is like determined to like turn to like change himself and turn into the transform and turn into like a warrior of like the world like and Sam on through and like the turn into a warrior and the that like Sam like that would like would be feeling to that way for the artist to be along the lines like Sam as well to be telling lesson and on the plan that way like I'm like from that point on, like the range is yes. Once again, going through a lot of injury like personal that I'm okay. But like I'm thinking of like the range that would be like the kind of pain session of like would be over like I'm going straight away quickly like and like to front of like like and like that obviously coming to like the injured and aid and like taking good care of like the injured man is like the scenario that I'm that way like the bond between them like tapering and the to such a manner it's like to now and 20% injury is randomly multiple invite for like creating or improving like in race and the state of the service and between creating a steadily trying to like going then up to like now benefit. So development like the service to it might be their extremely development might be thinking that like even if that is brings down then even at that point, like the Caldrago and etc. But yeah, maybe it's still I think to sort of switch like so might be along the lines like might be in that extremely salesman man of might be selling definitely money claim it. So some that basically yeah adding poison to like to some like drink and give the that will like different like kind of getting poison with like the now and everything else. Definitely at that point I'm looking for like kind of to be in pain and like going through that after suffering and basically at that point I'm not looking for like them not having the hand of this like personality that I'm looking at Java today them looking at that point so that Java to be getting on the sports and basically heading on to like the nearby town to get the hand of this now that I'm looking so Java heading off and at that point when I'm looking most likely for like one of like so like at that point I'm developing one of like the help of like kind of straight away in like doing up with something that like it might have been definitely the one from that paper and like then at this point, it's definitely when so like shouting at Colorado that is the that result that has poison black and like kind of the so like Colorado at that point the Indian brain had like different and they straight away went down the services land that's not that amazing. That way that so it's only quite important conflict and all of that was happening exactly by the time you're on with your current bank is like the end of like so like the law of like the still not and as well as like by then that to that has the surprise of that how the going like that to the party and to that so like after surprise like and so the for like and to have survive even though through the great struggle like and when to have survived like the more than something one like leaders who that like position of thinking having that secret and power which like kind of might be able to like more bargain as well as like the other side of that power might see what like I'm looking like getting in that kind of even like that power enough power getting like this may take up the direction of the and trying to like not only that but also can like saving to survive that to be that that able to go. So that's definitely from that point on, I'm going to depend on like the way that the party will be viewing like the like kind of like changing from that point on like uh that then that if the party quite like only from that kind of seeing that and kind of that and it's like it's a clear top exactly like to be along the like and so the finance of the party right with that and would try will be pricing clean uh then put like now then and then at that point of the take for like Colorado will be proud of then like like thing not that I'm going to make the way and which is actually going to be an question right now for like trying to like definitely survive like the thing that's like the not that I'm big definitely at that point is when I'm putting up surviving with like one like Sam along with like Snow could be turning back after the visit to like the board at that point it's like the scenario that I'm looking at that point is when I'm going to try for like everyone can like the board to like their views and their perspectives about like Sam that completely changing and like them having that absolute massive amount of friends to like Sam and them all being proud of, like Sam's achievements that at that point it's actually it's not that I'm really like and so we think for like even with like for that so we think Snow definitely not being able to like always protect Sam being like stupid situations like scenario that yet like even at that point even with like Sam that short-term plan so it still to probably Sam's like absolute determination and that's what will for example eventually being content for like Sam to like definitely survive like the way and to go to like the people and so that like that absolute determination will help like Sam protect say and bring that absolute impact in like surviving like surviving the wing and bring it back to like the water like it was like it's not that I'm looking at that video. Right. Okay, so like the team I think very question right now is that like Zora naturally might want electrical situation might totally want to like manipulate dynamics to like turn dynamics again for the results and to bring down the so that like Zora could dictate the place and it affect the new team lead like the budget it might be along the lines of like the actual plan of like Jora and might be especially consideration. Yes, like a sort of thing for like Jora definitely not being able to like manipulate and because like I'm just looking then like actually give the pure code and suddenly the last thing then this would even want to do would be to like turn against like frame. So definitely on the screen, yeah, like I'm screen is still solely to like the all villains at this point, villains with action control and that is them eventually ending up getting brought down by Captain and Rage Carl by the second scenario that is sitting setting up. So it comes out and great delay and all like and like trying to like and then number of stated the first trying to like get back and like and it's very most likely trying to like frozen then it's like to now then go to that I can put that which was not like that right but also setting in like an race called I will bring the sort down and like the lot of people having through the manner and at that point I'm looking for like to game of likely so that will be ending up that way leading that sort of right his like scenario that about when then at that point like creating all of a scope in like Jora being able to like get some home is like the with the tsunami that I'm thinking about the temperature. So like the cleaner the temperature that like the rapidity like SerHugh and like SerHugh might be already reached in like the favor of like SerHugh by simply by the queen might be like active with the gates the cleaning break because like the queen the queen might be extremely my impressed with like SerHugh after like what might have been like SerHugh that might have been like that might have been that question might have gone down so the queen of the range. So the player with the like the queen might be at present feeling of like SerHugh and might be saying SerHugh as like someone who will be totally coming in handy for like the queen and would be totally useful for like the queen even so that it is might be around line like the queen might be at present would be feeling supplement friends so that the match against like some Dragor and like SerHugh might be retained at the favor of SerHugh and like so on so bring like SerHugh to end up being like the bit of like the band. It's like the scenario that I'm looking at right now. Okay, so that league might have very interesting right now. That actually might have been maybe like the queen that might have promoted like SerHugh to that the function of that speak and I might be that the reputation in a trend and like it might have been consciously done by the queen to most likely have like the loss of like SerHugh happened during that the post night battle and like the reason for like the queen might have wanted that and like the reason for the queen wanted that might have been like the secret that like SerHugh might have had which might have been such that like it might have been according to like the queen or it might have been considering my friend that like might have been SerHugh that might have that we slow poison and drawn down don't have might have been what might have happened that we might have been like to worry the secret uh Sibari that figure along with like SerHugh might be might have been like a sole reason for like between promoting SerHugh to becoming a knight might have been like the actively like it is certainly so like at certain like things might be playing out exactly according to the queen plans might be like actually the case suddenly but very right now. It's like the female of the embracing White House like the dark flat cover might be already low to the queen fight might house like there might be fights for like queen about this land not even land state it might be unaware of the identity that will affect so like the queen's fight uh by now might have won the report of three lakh the queen about like the dark flag investigated from the 3 lakh dawn and like lost and it's like the scenario that was going but so like I thought like the queen might be already aware of it might be like that so the queen that we might have right it's like a we must be the implement right now for like and that's why right now like an Indian great man up to like accuse Tyrion of that trying to bring down Iran like with down so the other point at that point like Tyrion straight away denying it and basically at that point that at that point like telling Tyrion about that so Tyrion that's the dagger and basically at that point, like Tyrion recognizing the dagger and controlling right now particular what the said earlier might actually be point it might actually be Tyrion's dagger then might be in the case there right now. So like Tyrion recognizing the dagger and accepting that it's Tyrion's dagger, but still at the same time like Tyrion rejecting the accusations that basically that he identified to that bring down man like that so like at that point I'm when that end up by getting even more frustrated and tries to like Tyrion and like telling about like telling Tyrion about like to not like to something like she has found like the cat's friend and like the room uh reflects are very right. So like at that point is when I'm talking about like hearing about the cat's friend and at that point is when I'm talking like Tyrion they most likely be able to like comment around and still remembering that like Tyrion might have been aware of like the difference between like Sabine and Jamie for a long time yet might have been still there to last across them or like about the crime that Jane and Jamie have done to that to complete the but yet everyone might give aware but like for a long time yet might have been to simply care of like confronting black Queen and Jamie because like Tyrion might be totally afraid of that might have not had the guts to do that or like the board to do that and might have just priorities and on survival might be like the and black. Then might have seen that time particular answer black is black. You know, going it might be in front of the queen and it might be like the activity of the case that name is so that name is going black Tyrion on black Tyrion is hearing about the cat fan like at that point like Tyrion comes in the doctor and like Tyrion at that point I'm picturing most likely revealing that the crucial information about like between that between and Jamie to and that's why like it's not that different and not so different for that to be a huge turning point and I'm looking at that point that that's why that they not fully will carry on and that's why to like straight away believe carry on and like we are seeing that like the is trying to like to make it like to save itself to be another like that and that's why to be initial thing but like I'm saying just like to do the review of Finland that's why that we did about like dice of let to carry on like about like the dance to environment in like the zone so it's like it's not that I'm different. So like at that point I'm going to bring like to the my being most likely aware of that as well. Yet like my being my have like the console world to confront like the Enemy and even there as well to my remain silent my being exact to give the pictures that and my being exact to be we might put in there like once like that five from that way in that in fact we were getting about like like I don't think fade away responding telling that's why that like laser that has to break in their right it's like it's not then I'm different. Yeah, like even at that point I'm looking like that's why we still not need fully content put like Ethereum on like not so like at that point I'm different like most likely that's why and at that point I'm really running for Ethereum to even tell that that's why then we with that that's why good for like up and like and up family like getting of then like to remain silent about like the season between like Viet and Jamie exactly like with Ethereum that can keep quiet about it. To be along the lines like I'm focusing on that point, that's of like data and that's so like even at that point I'm going to connect that's why only being confused like and still won't see like fully trusting very on the that conversation is not that way. So like it confirm it like and so to confirm on the species like that so it may like that's why like adding to like next to change her plans and to like not trying to like make up right now, but like instead to like head off to like meet with her sister like oh yes, so like the name of the marriage right now just a few more like so it's still like the you know the like off with way out of the video so you know things so then strong right now just getting taking exactly when they being taken to like with a and they are like I'm focusing like carry on to be thing and in kind of state and basically they are like anticipating that the people at like the level different that walking carry on and can who lead towards like so take to carry on like that in the opinion that are quite a lot and then encouragement of like and different like to be standing right so I thought that like the carry on and basically to be like a student encouragement of detailing and carry on that like she will ensure that like carry on is like brought down and like as like the punishment to be along the lines that that's why like in a student encouragement or detailing carry on like not that so definitely I'm explaining that once like the thing judgment will be when it happen like I'm so different from like to is that up to be at the to that eventually show up to that well and supposed to be adapted to be delivering like the thing judgment. That one was development print. The development in form like what couple of like between and Jamie and all like showing up to like to deliver like the thing judgment. Not like Robert would be like the ones delivering like judgment is like the one going to be the regardless of the different like usually once like the thing judgments would be right about like the thing judgment would be clear like that whether it's like the of like Robert and like them giving Tyrion chance to speak if that Tyrion can prove that he's like innocent in like the current decision against like Tyrion. So Liam is different like Tyrion at that point most likely remain silent most likely still keeping about the that like Tyrion might be for a long time might be aware of that the people between and James might be like that people will be near of them. Like by then like by the time of like the skills judgment down to the like Tyrion most likely might have been down to the conclusion that we see that might have been like same of like between that might have got like the fault of that plant and everything. And like the top behind like the side of and everything and might have friends to be along the lines like might have already by then get like on the words like not when about the second then when from Tyrion perspective like Tyrion might be feeling that is Tyrion fight to like expose like the green and green then that would mean that certainly children might be afraid of doing that because like at that point that children might be doing like over to like them definitely ensuring that lecturing would be or not children neither would be actively or you'll be getting children as well and at the same time that children judgment of that the punishment to be definitely to bring down Tyrion to the national community to be along the lines that Tyrion will be doing. So like instead like a position like Tyrion like remaining silent and not trying to like justify like it's not terrible. So like at that point I'm going to think what could be regardless of like the result of like adapt or like Robert that is delivering like its judgment to like Tyrion and only like the punishment for like Tyrion to be more friendly. And I'm also thinking if like Robert and like the Queen to something that the scenario then I'm hoping that the Queen to be feeling extremely insecure and might want to like possible bring down Tyrion. So that like everyone's like concerned that like Tyrion like the culprit should be remaining as if it would like everyone actually to be along the lines like Queen would be into so like if like Robert shows up to like a young so it's just my down to like the Queen trying to like definitely like manipulate Robert so that are to like definitely ensure that like the punishment that will be delivered would be to bring down Tyrion to be along the lines of between like the Queen maybe in like the series of anything of black something on that upload acting was actually a big black okay the tony black Tyrion as like when basically black telling Papa that like a grave twins that like Tyrion was done and they go that Tyrion must be brought down to be along the lines name like between black mind to like get Robert to like that exact punishment. But like I'm doing that Robert like one that very and then I'm hoping that Robert to in a realistic manner to be more interested in like presidents really way bring down Tyrion to that punishing Tyrion by sending Tyrion to like the remaining of Tyrion to like at like a night watch at like the ball location to be along the line like to give such punishment to be along the line like Robert maybe more in still but like from Robert perspective or like Robert is very very like something that like Tyrion's not even going to survive a single day and like the nice one mission to be along the lines like Robert would be like so like suddenly for like Turion to go through that something like to be along the lines number different like what Robert might be wanting to happen and straight away bring down Turion. Sending a threat. Like that way Robert like gives the punishment to that in that appointment like I'm going to like Robert giving the punishment to like send Turion to like solve the next like for the next not then so like one person another that instead it like the scenario ends up being a dumb that ends up being that to the critical against judgment to like to react. Even then I'm probably connect even a doubt as well completely my superior to that. So like had like the next one like it's not that important. So that way I'm considering that everyone seeing that like everyone so I feel like no that's a fight people and like the next one I like when I just we should be along the line and then the point as part of the punishment like you're not being forced to like not just stand up at like the wall, but like to actually go on like the night walk mission. Like not that way like I'm like before like Funo and Sam would be setting off in like once like when it comes and like uh, Snow and Sam would be setting off for like the days of night watch mission. Like at that point I'm even 5 minutes since that that Tyrion could most likely have we send that to like the wall location and will be on and will be joining them we can both like join them in that single day might sort of things it's name of them. So like at that point I was looking for like in a realistic manner like a person like a stable at like the wall like I'm both things like more carry on and basically like them like discussing between terms of like the people like the wall like discussing between terms of if like particularly Sam or like carry on that would be like the hospital like in like the nice just one the very much thing. So like like at that point I'm going to for like the majority at like the wall you can think along the line that it's like and saying along the line that it's like that Sam even Sam has like a better survival rate to be having like a better survival rate than Tyrion even though for they are expecting for like definitely what about of them will like so go down on like table. They're not clients like I'm so different like the people at the board usually want the group of experience and like now in that way like the three of them are focusing together like even the heading on to like stimulating this night for mission and I'm totally trying to that are to show surprise to like everyone at like the world like and different like point like the winner would be over like a so different like the three of them like that as well as like always now but like as well as like the deep with the determination like surviving in like the winter and like the scenery of like what even and making their return back to like the wall after like the video and to everyone like sort of way like in and out of the stories and writing which now that will be a little bit new. For the when the writing that is that because the games are seen that the one thing that they about like the thing just on to like carry on that on the things now to be that fight and that when to different adapt get on to that the law of like fight and to most like you reach like the point where like progress to the point where like adapt will be strongly uh, feeling that I would stay sufficient towards that the possibility of that uh, Jamie being like the concept behind like the loss of that throne and to be like the point was like that will be carrying terms of them that's like investigation the thing on brand just name discovering that way I'm talking scenario to be that that most likely having vibrant vaccine like any person on the night before lunch, the day of the teacher and all like everyone section of that and looking and that private interaction with lecturer and professor like after that interaction with lecturer would be or like I'm talking at that point and this is strongly feeling at that point and would be strongly feeling that lecturer is like benefit and like that would be able to that would have seen like so far like would have seen stone for the kind of people to the point of like that being able to like uh, strongly sense that basically Tyrion is like listen and listen about like the things Tyrion is saying and that might have seen also people to the point of that being a clearly sense that like Tyrion is like extremely intelligent yet have like to be along the lines that that will be strongly experienced especially when the Tyrion is so definitely it's a more severe down the lines like that after that would be strongly feeling certainly when so like that would be absolutely certain after that, like that rotating and stuff and that like Tyrion like innocent to yeah, like I'm looking at that point would be very nice. So like I'm preparing on the very next day on the day of like taking judgment. Like at that point I'm not trying to go on delivering like taking judgment where like everyone but then I'd like that like, okay I'd like well might be looking forward to adapt delivering like the punishment of that stay away brings down like like I'm just forgetting that like the final moment like thinking about delivering the judgment like that like thinking about snow like scenario side of the thing and like that at that point of this thinking how like is like that punishes delivers like the judgment and to like set Tyrion to like attack the ball then like Tyrion like someone like Tyrion and that they are like trying would have so much of experience to like the point of like no like looking at like Tyrion in like a persistent man seeing Tyrion like a persistent man and like seeing him to like appreciate like Tyrion's like strengths might be like the big so like at that fine moment like strongly feeling that they really Tyrion's person at like the night watch would be like safely helpful would be training up easily helpful for like snow like survival and like the dangerous night storm location would be along the lines of the different land that are really strongly feeling step given credit. So like that way like I'm exploring like adapt that way is how I'm going to think for like adapt the land while at like, the moment of like delivering like the thing judgment like without coming down to like satisfied intent to like deliver that have the punishment of like sending Tyrion to stop at like the next watch. Is like the fanatic that was looking at really and the thing right now.